just dropped my daughter off at the flat in Glasgow, and I am heading to a charger at Riverside Museum, which is just a couple of miles or so away. I'll need the blippy thing to get out here. Okay, and there it goes. So this is our first trip down to Glasgow, and this is kind of the test case for us, because we thought the MG ZS EV would be an okay upgrade for us, that the battery capacity, while it is not as big as some cars, Kona, e-Niro, etc., if you go for the 64 kilowatt hour, that is, rather than 39, it was probably okay for us. It was enough for us. And so the test, because we're often coming down to Glasgow, we've got family down here, is can you do it all in one hop? And we've come down today just to check on the flat, which has been empty for a while, and for my daughter to pick up some more clothes and things like that, so that and then we're heading straight back up to Glasgow again. And yes, the answer to that question is it can do it in one hop, with 14 miles left to the flat, so another couple of miles to the charger. I kind of drove the way I ordinarily would drive if I was in the Zoe, so I was being somewhat careful. I used MG Pilot the whole way, apart from around Dundee, and it with it set between 60-65 miles an hour. But I did, for some bits, just settle in behind if there was a truck that was going at an okay pace, just kind of settle in behind that for a little while, and then the rest of the time just cruising on. So on the way home, I'm going to do it differently, and we'll cruise at 70, and we may take a top up halfway down, halfway back up, and try it that way and see what the time is, what the difference in time is. Obviously, you use more energy doing it that way, so if there's not a huge difference in time, then you might as well do it kind of more efficiently, the journey. Anyway, that is the plan, and I'm off to the charger, as I say, so more once I get there. that is a success. First time connecting to the charger, no problems at all. Same kind of charger as the one in Aberdeen that I was having the connection problems with. Now this one, the AC is obviously knackered, so it's not working. There's a big caution thing on the actual plug, and I put my card up, nothing happened, and then I noticed there's a thing saying press a button, so I pressed a button, and then it just said pick your charge, CCS or CHAdeMO. I picked CCS, plugged in, and it just seemed to work. So I'm assuming I'm not getting charged for this one. That's good, because this will be a bigger charge. So I'm planning to stay here for maybe an hour or so, so longer than the kind of just getting up to 80%. Partly because my daughter is gonna, I think she's actually going to walk over here from the flat once she's finished, and yeah, but it's not if we're only at 80%, since we're planning to stop on the way up anyway, it's not essential that get up to 100% or anything like that. Now of course, when I came down today, the car was at 100%. I'd plugged it in overnight, and yes, that charger, that was our 7 kilowatt one that's nearby, it connected immediately. The card was authorized immediately, so that one all worked fine. So I don't know why I was having problems with that, the first charge that I had at the other rapid charger, but this one was absolutely fine here, so that was good. Yeah, so it was a full charge coming down, and then we had 14 miles left. The bleep, the kind of second warning bleep, and then when it was flashing, happened maybe about a mile or 2 miles away from our destination. So that's, I think, when you're down to 10%, which is fine. You know, when you're used to a much smaller battery EV, all of this is absolutely no sweat. I would never, I didn't tend to get too worried unless I was down to like 4 or 5 miles and I knew there was still quite a way to go to a charger. But yeah, so having 14 miles left, nearly 10% on the battery, is not a biggie. It is charging at over 48 kilowatts, which will be around about the maximum that this charger can supply. So that's all good. Yeah, it's nice having the note on the charger of the percentage of the battery and all that kind of thing, which of course in the Zoe you never got. You would just have the amount of energy that had been supplied, but it didn't tell you the battery capacity. So there we are. I will turn off the car. We're at 25% now and 39 miles. Yes, so I've just turned it off. I realize I wanted to double check.
But one day
I'm impressed that started playing. That's an audio book, which is coming from the same phone I'm videoing this from. I didn't think it would come at the same time there. Right, what am I doing? Okay to that. Yes, I know the charger is connected. Now it still comes up with a warning saying state of charge low, please charge, even though it is connected and charging. That's a little odd. Right, okay, so 146.6 miles, 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour average. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad. And over 3 hours total journey time. There is a bit of a slow bit kind of around for a part of that. And I had a bit of faffing just at the flat before coming out here to the charger. So I think about 2 hours 40, something like that was the time down. That's not bad. You know, I've done it faster, but not that much faster. 2 hours 20 maybe when I'm really chonking along. But anyway, I'm impressed. And this is exactly what we wanted to be able to do is just in one hop coming down. Now, of course, it is warm. It's been a really warm day today. So in the middle of winter, we may have to do a wee 10-minute top up when we're coming down, but that's okay. There's a big stop in Perth that we can easily do that's just on the way. A big car park with lots of chargers, so it's not a big issue. Anyway, the car was great. So as I say, drove it down on the MG Pilot almost all of the way. So it basically drove itself. And of course, I don't really have any experience of what the MG Pilot was like pre the update, but it was great. Really worked really well. So yeah, pretty restful coming down. So that's I can imagine you get a little bit used to this, just sort of it, you know, basically steering for you, and of all the speed stuff, of course. And then you get into another car that doesn't do it, and you're like, why doesn't it turn for me on these bendy motorways here? But anyway, so that's good. So far, so good. I don't know if you can hear that, but the cooling has just kicked in just a minute or so ago. It's so you can hear a pump and fluid moving. So this is it's very different, of course, to the Zoe. When the cooling system kicks in on the Zoe, you hear, well, first of all, there are fans at the back, of course, because it's air cooled. And so you hear the fans under the seats kicking in, and then you may hear the air conditioning system kicking in, which then sends, you know, coolant through to the air interchanger at the back. So this is quite different. This is much more like a fridge sound going on here. So I'm a bit intrigued. I might actually go and just have a look under the bonnet and see if I can see what's happening. I'm not going to be able to see what's happening. You know what I mean. See where the noises are coming from. The amount of space under here is completely bonkers when you kind of look at it like this way. Just how much height under the bonnet is lost with the electric rather than the petrol motor in here. So yeah, it's all now this, I think this is the main kind of, this is the 6.6 kilowatt charger, and of course this is sending most of the power through, and it's, yeah, you can hear the coolant going on there. There's the 380 volt box back here. This is sitting on top of the motor, of course, this one. So assuming that one is doing, you know, controlling the motor. But there must be a mixture here going on. And all this pipe work here is all for the coolant system. There's loads of pipe work going on for all the coolant. And oh yeah, the fan on the radiator is whirring away there. Interesting. This one has got the Psych battery. I know some folks have had a different battery in theirs, but this is just the Psych one. There's dust already inside. Ah! go and see what it's doing. Check status. 50% already. 21 minutes, 17 kilowatt hours. It's not bad. The boot really is a good size on this thing. I've got it set in its kind of lower setting here, and good. That's great capacity there for everything inside. I do like that, being able to shove the charging cable underneath there. So for the dogs and all getting in, we're probably going to need all this weight. I've just got rid of the cover and shoved it in, because dogs in and out don't really need that. One thing that is a bit weird, and it's a sound design issue, is this, which I get it. It looks neat, you know, having this over here, but when this bit clatters against it, you get this sort of nasty double clunk. Here we go. You see, I'm probably being a bit pedantic there. Just doesn't sound great. You sort of get this ka-kunk when you close the boot, rather than just a thunk when you close it. These doors all do close with quite a reassuring thunk, and as does the bonnet actually, but just that, and that's what it is. It's that flap, I think, that's hitting first, and then the rest. Interesting choice. Yeah, I got a 10-meter cable for this car. So the Zoe has a 5-meter cable, which 95% of the time is plenty. There's just occasionally, and it's sometimes when it's actually when I'm at work at the church. There are other people parked there, and I come in later, which is fine, but I can't plug in because it's too far to get to the charger, because the charger is furthest in. So the 10-meter cable would allow me to still plug in and charge up, even if somebody else had already got there ahead of me. So I got a 10-meter cable this time for this car, just to make that improvement. And I can't remember where I got it from, but it was a place that was recommended, because there was a bit of a discount on it. If I remember, I'll put that in the description. And it was reasonable in price. Seems to be good quality. I actually got a 3-phase cable, I think, just in case, so I could use it on the Zoe with 22 kilowatt if need be. So it is thicker, the cable was as a result of that, but it gives us the maximum flexibility, so that's why I did that. Right, my mother is calling. I better answer. Just heard the cooling come. Oh no! Hang on a minute. Shush. Actually, no. It's just winding back up again. Right. What are we doing? So we're nearly at 80%. when I just checked, 77, 78, 79, something like that. It'll be by now. And 444, 101 amps. Like, my maths can tell me that that is going to be round about 44-ish kilowatts. Even I can do that. So it's been doing more than 40 kilowatts all the way. Mamma mia, that is really annoying when it keeps doing that. That is one of the things I think that still needs to be adjusted, is this, you know, volume issue that has not been updated. It must have tipped over the 82% or whatever it is when the charging speed goes down. We are down to 50 amps. Where are we? 54 amps, 443. So we were still at 40 odd, 44 kilowatts up to that moment, which is great. So I always found that on the Zoe, it charges, it still keeps a pretty good charge rate right up to 85-ish, 90%, but that's kind of similar here. It's a little, you know, it'll start throttling a little bit more, and then it maybe throttles a bit more. So what are we? We're down to 54 amps, 443. What's that going to be? 30 odd kilowatts, something like that. It's okay though, you know. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, since I'm here anyway, I'm waiting. I'm just gonna keep letting it charge and just kind of watch what it does. I just wish it had an easy to get to percentage. I mean, I can get to it by turning the car on and off, but not ideal. And it is nice being able to have the air conditioning running while it's charging. That is a little bit of a bugbear on the older Zoes. The kind of air conditioning, heating is not great when you're charging. There are ways around it, but it's a bit of a faff. So this is nice because it's warm out there. I mean, properly warm, which if you're in Bournemouth, silly people in Bournemouth today. This is when I was recording this. 86%. It's charging at 24 kilowatts at the moment, which is okay. You know, if you're not in a rush. I mean, obviously, if you're going for total speed, as soon as you climb down off the kind of 40 plus kilowatts, you would unplug and go. But it hasn't like crashed down to sort of, you know, 7 kilowatts or something like that. So yeah, I'm just going to keep watching and seeing at what happens to it. 87%, 140 miles, it's telling me. I did, on the way down, I drove maybe half of the way on normal and then half on eco. As I say, it was a really warm day today, so we did have the air conditioning on the whole way, and when I put it on to eco, it was fine. There was enough cooling to keep the car perfectly chilled inside. That's what I was wondering, if it would have a detrimental effect there, but didn't really notice any big difference. I don't know if there's, you know, it just is slower, and because we'd already brought the kind of cabin temperature down a bit when it was on normal, that might have helped. But that's all, yeah, that was all fine. So it added about 10 miles on the GOM, which was obviously about right for us coming down. So when we left, it said on the GOM 143 miles, I think it was, something like that, and the distance was 144 odd miles coming down. So we were kind of on parity on normal mode, and then when I changed it to eco mode, it kind of gave us that another 10 miles on the GOM. I'd have to do the journey more, you know, a number of times, just in different modes to see what kind of impact is being had there. But yeah, I'm impressed though so far. I turned off the car to get the charging screen. It's getting hot, so I'm turning back on again. It still does, even though they've improved this starting up process here. There still are, for my liking, too many kind of bing bang bong things going on here. Right, what am I going to? I'm going down to this one here. Yeah, so we're still charging at 24 kilowatts or so. That's all right. Right, I'm just going to keep watching this until it goes down again, and then I'll pop over and see what percentage I'm at. They have, I can't remember if I said in the previous video, they have started charging on Charge Place Scotland in a lot of places around Scotland now, and Aberdeen City is one of those that at the beginning of June started charging. I have no problem with that. As somebody who's had benefit for over 6 years of the free charging in the city, it's been a great boon and has saved us thousands of pounds and helped make it affordable then for that transition to electric. But there, you know, when I had all those problems with the CCS charger and it kept failing to connect, I was really a bit anxious, because there's the way they're doing it in Aberdeen, we've got a 38 pence connection fee, and then it's either 18 pence or 19 pence per kilowatt hour for energy thereafter, which is okay. That's fine with me. In fact, the general thing is I'm okay with the charging kind of structure and how they're doing that, unless you have multiple problems trying to connect and they ended up charging you the connection fee every time. So on that occasion, I mean, I must have attempted umpteen times to connect. If I was getting a connection fee every time, I can imagine there would have been 3 or 4 quid just in the sort of failed attempts to connect. Now that really would be a problem. However, I don't think I was charged for it at all, so I'm not quite sure what has happened with that one. The charge that I had last night to fill up the car to 100% before we came down at our local charger, I did get an email through with a charge on that, which came to, I think it was about £2.50, something like that, for 13-14 kilowatt hours of energy. I was probably down to about 75%ish or something like that on the, well, two bars had gone on the battery meter, whatever on earth that is. I know it's not entirely consistent, but not bad. So I have a feeling this one's going to be free though, so I'm liking that a lot. As long as those continue, it's a nice little extra boost. All right, okay, it has actually come to an end there. It's suddenly the current went right down to 4 volts and then it just stopped. So let's go around and see where we're at. I just want to know what percentage we're at. I'm going to try unplugging again. I'm a bit mystified by that. I mean, it does actually seem to be full, the battery. So I was kind of watching it. It was at 54 amps. 450 volts ish or something like that, and it suddenly went off a cliff, and just as I was kind of pulling the phone out, it then went to 0, and with the kind of battery shut off. I've disconnected it all and connected it back up, and then the charger just said, nope, not having it. It's been disconnected from the car end, which I assume means it can't take any more charge. Now, it is, if I start the car up, it is showing a range of 147 miles, which would be probably about right. If I go into here, I'll show you. If I go to the eco setting, 161 miles, so that would be almost exactly what we were kind of doing. 144 miles. I had 1340 miles left on the range, so that would be about spot on. So I mean, yeah, if that is a proper full charge to 100%, that's actually really, I'm impressed by that, because on the Renault, you hang around and hang around. If you're wanting to, once it gets up into the kind of mid 90s percent-wise, you can be forever waiting for it to get any higher. So there you go. I'm gonna have to watch this again on a number of other times to see how it behaves, because that threw me a little. But the kind of range estimates are about what I'd expect for a full charge, so it just ended much more quickly than I thought it would. I thought it was going to drag on a lot longer. It's ended so quickly that I have no idea where my daughter is. I thought she'd be here way before the charge finished, so I might give her a call and see if I can meet her somewhere. Okay, and then the homeward journey, and we'll see how that goes. I've just reset the current journey meter, having taken a picture of it before the would be driving home. I'm still waiting here. I don't know where my daughter has gone to. Of course, not picking up her phone, so there we are. Yeah, the reason I think that must be at 100% also is when I turn it on, it's coming up with that the picture of the two pedals, and then saying, warning, I can't remember the exact wording, but regeneration not possible, which you assume that's because the battery is at 100%, so it can't take any more energy in recuperating that energy. So it was about an hour, I think, maybe a little less than an hour, around about an hour for the charge from 8% it was when first plugged in, up to 100% then. That's all right in my book. I can well imagine in the Renault, although you would get up to like 90% in kind of 30 minutes or so, 35 minutes maybe. If you wanted to get 100%, you'd easily be an hour by the time it faffed around getting up there. So, and bearing in mind this is almost double the capacity in the battery. It's all right. The plan on the way home was to just set the MG Pilot at 70 miles an hour, or whatever the speed limit was, and let it do its thing. Alas, the motorway was blocked between two junctions, so we had to come off for, I don't know, a good 10 miles or so, all cross country to get back on. So that has kind of messed up my plan of seeing how long this would take. However, we're just going to keep ploughing up now that we're back on at the speed limit and see what happens. And yeah, we're going to stop at Perth for maybe 10 minutes or so. I guess keep an eye on the time and I mean the mileage. You know, how many oops. Oh dear. There's your phone. This is fun all the way around the roundabouts here. And ooh, here we go up the hill. So what I've noticed, just to show you what happens here, Sophia, can you come down to see the screen down here? So if you can see the screen here, the lines are blue on either side. I'm on MG Pilot, so it's doing its thing, it's driving itself. So if I want to indicate to pull over, and I believe previously, even when you were indicating, it would then put up an alert. But as soon as I indicate, those lines go white, and then you pull across while, and now I took too long, so it chimed there. But if I do that again, so let it pick it up. So it's picked up the blue lines. So the MG Pilot is working. If I indicate they go white, come over, no chime, and then once you're back in the lane, they'll go blue again, and it's back in control. So try that again. They go. So it's obviously not monitoring when it goes white. It knows the lanes are there, but and that's us back, and it's in control. Yeah, that's how that works. So that's a big improvement on the previous system. I have noticed this road is a bit up and down. I didn't notice anything where we were coming down a little bit slower. At 70 miles an hour, there are occasional bits where the suspension does get a little bit caught out, just a little bit wallowy, which you wouldn't get in the Citroen or something like that. It was much more controlled. That's where I guess some of the money. Consumption is crazily worse doing it that way.
What?
2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and it was 3.9 coming down. So he uses way more energy. Right, let's see what speed we are charging at. That is right about full whack. Okay, we were at a much higher state of charge when I started this charge, so around about 40%, was it? Can you remember what it was? 38? I can't remember. 38, something like that. So initially it started charging at the kind of same rate, kind of 48 kilowatts power from the charger, but when it hit about 55%, so we're at 60% now, it's dropped down to around about 41 kilowatts, 41 kilowatts, which I don't remember it doing that when it was charging right from 8%. So it does seem like the curve is somewhat different depending on when you start. Anyway, that's been us about 10 minutes, and we have got 8.8 kilowatt hours of energy into the car. We've got 87 miles, it says on the sat nav, to go down here, and we are at 86 miles range to empty. So I'm thinking I want a few more miles to go before we leave. So maybe give it another 5 minutes. So that'll be a 15-minute charge. And then go. Now these chargers seem to have changed a little bit from the last time I was at it. I don't think you can see on the screen actually what it is saying. It's just blurring out. But there is a countdown on them now, so it gives you an hour of charge and then it's going to stop. I don't remember that before, or maybe it didn't do it on AC. I don't remember seeing that before. Anyway, there's a chap in the exact same car next to me here from Mackie Motors, where I got this car. It's one of the demonstrators, liveried up, and he's having real problems trying to get it to charge. It's not, there's something with the charger not working. So that's a bit of a bummer. I'll go and ask him what's happening. Right, let's get some more lights on. Oops, there goes your phone again. Oh dear. Okay, where are we? We've done 66 miles so far. So I've just charged up to, what was it, 73%? I think it was, something like that. And well, yeah, there's 2 bars missing on the battery, and it was saying there's 103 miles on the guessometer, 87 miles to go. So here's hoping that's fine. However, it was a little bit longer than anticipated because I started chatting to the guy that was having the connection problems. It was a charger issue. The charger wasn't talking properly, and he was on the phone trying to get that sorted. So anyway, he moved to the charger we were on. That should be all good. So back up the road, we'll keep the cruise set at 70, and he's hoping to get back up. Tell me when you're on.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, exciting. Yeah, this has not quite worked out the way I thought it was going to work out. We've just hit 10 miles on the GOM, so it's kind of the 3 dashes on that. There, range to empty. There are 6 miles to go. So I think we're fine, but I have had to slow down, and we had another detour off the motorway on the way back. So that was 2 detours on the off the motorway. So that's been a bit of a pain. So I'm not quite sure if that's what's kind of thrown us off a little bit, but this is going to have taken way longer coming back, and this was supposed to be our fast coming back at 70 miles an hour. Go figure. Anyway, we are now just about to come down the long hill into Aberdeen. Fingers crossed everything is fine. It's always just a little bit, especially when it's the first time in a new car. When you go to the sort of 3 dashes, then you don't have any idea how much battery is left. Well, no tortoise or anything like that has appeared yet, so there we go. Hopefully, next video at the charger.
Yay!
Either that or you're pushing.
No!
Well, we will see. 4.8 miles, 4.7 miles.
Oh, getting there.
We are really getting there. And yeah, we do have at least a mile that is pure coasting down into Aberdeen. So even a little bit of energy recuperated there, hopefully.
Yep. Hopefully.
Hopefully is right. This was supposed to be the easy journey. Like, don't sweat it. Oh, air conditioning is limited by low state of charge.
Oh my god.
Has just come on. This is getting exciting now.
We get stranded.
We're getting all kinds of funky messages. Excellent. Right. We are just about back. So all is fine. Oh, hang on a minute.
What?
I've got my foot flat on the floor and it's just not going anywhere.
Dad, are you with me?
No.
Sorry. Are you serious? I'm not pushing it.
What? It's just not going anywhere. Oh no, it's still going. It's still going. It's still going.
Did you lying?
It's still going. It's still going. What?
Died. God, I knew it. You're such a.
Except I can't use any of that because you're swearing. You're a terrible, terrible potty mouth child.
I thought I was gonna have to get out and push.
Terrible potty mouth child.
I said sorry.
Oh dear.
So mean.
Yeah, so I'm really intrigued to see what percent the battery is at here when we plug in and start charging. And there is another car there. Oh, that stinks because I don't want to park under the tree.
Oh, boo.
But I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be minging in the morning.
Yikes.
Whoa, that car is not even plugged in. What the heck, man?
Is that even an electric car? No.
I think it is, but it's not plugged in.
Oh.
Okay, well, before I... So we got here. All is fine. Let's have a wee Scooby's. Oh, little notice. State of charge low. Please charge. Yes. Let me zoom into that one. 154.5 miles, so 10 more miles we did coming back, and 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour instead of 3.9. That is pants, isn't it? And our average speed, I think, is slower, and our time is like half an hour longer it has taken. That's bonkers. So that was our fast journey back. A no stress journey, more stressful and slower. Right, I'm gonna go plug in and see what the state of charge is. If you on the screen here, it will pop up. Thing is here. You have to need to lock the car before it will start charging. Let's see if it'll do it while we're in it. Okay, oh yes. Right, we were at 2%. Oh, come on, can you see that on here? Where is this? That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Yeah, well, 2%. Still had 2%, so everything was fine. Oh dear. Okay. I don't know really what to make of that. That's a bit weird. However, we're back home fine, so as usual, when you're used to using an EV, you keep an eye on what you're doing with the energy, and you just base your speed on what you need to get to where you're going. So it actually was kind of perfect in that sense. But I just thought this journey home would be very different. There you go. You live and learn. All right, it's after midnight. We're done.